Hey everybody, welcome back to BigRedEDC. Well, we are taking a look at another kind of an Amazon find. I didn't find it. The company Tacray actually reached out and said, hey, want to check out this knife? I'm like, yeah, okay, sure, why not? Why not? Let's take a look at the Tacray Tarcus. That is what we are checking out today. Now, coming in at 35 bucks, so it's definitely a budget-friendly knife as far as I'm concerned. Definitely, you know, we've got flat scales. It is sort of that peel and ply carbon fiber. It's carbon fiber over G10. Everything is chamfered off okay. There are some, it is kind of fairly squared off in here. Now, it's not sharp or anything like that. But as you can see, it's just pretty much cut, hit real quick, and done. Now, this side is chamfered pretty well, and yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Open construction, deep carry clip on it, recessed screws. I mean, come on, guys. Tacray can do it. I'm sure the rest of you can. Of course, you've got a crossbar lock, but you know, overall construction is, I give it a good. It's good. It feels okay. Could there be a little bit of improvement? Absolutely, you know, but 35 bucks, okay, here's what you got. Now, like I said, crossbar lock. The only means of deployment is the hole, or, I mean, if you like doing that, which I don't, but definitely a hole opener only. You can reverse flick it. You can thumb flick it. Doesn't seem to be too stout. I mean, it takes some work. So it's holding back. It's holding back pretty well. It does reverse flick okay. DLC coated D2 blade on this, sort of this modified Wharncliffe, I guess is what we're going to call it. Sure, why not? Modified Wharncliffe blade, D2, DLC coated, and action. Kind of alluded to it. It's okay. Probably not the best I felt. Definitely not the worst I felt. Like I said, it takes some effort. If I really, well, it didn't come out there and I shook it pretty darn hard. So that crossbar lock, which is known for not always having the greatest hold, isn't doing too bad on this one. You know, I would actually like to see a little bit more. It's just sort of plain Jane. You know, it's not special, you know, in the way it's milled, cut, anything. Built, it's just plain Jane, but it works, and it works pretty well. So let's get a spec check going here real quick. Overall, you're looking at, let's go back here a little bit. There we go. We're kind of all dicked up here. Whew, long shifts getting to me. All right, so just shy of 8 inches. You're looking at about 7 7/8-ish. Almost a 4.5-inch handle, which is going to give you right about a 3.5-ish inch blade. Cutting edge is going to be closer to 3.25, and then your grip length is about 3 3/4. 3 3/4. Now, it does have what I consider the dreaded square cutout. You know, I've chastised a couple of knives for that square cutout. Now, this one, it's longer, so both of my index and middle finger fit in that cutout, which makes it pretty comfortable. Still not my favorite look aesthetically, but as far as comfort and as far as use, I'm not going to knock it because it is comfortable. My hand fits in there pretty nicely, actually. So, got to give it credit. Got to give credit where credit is due. Now, there you go, up against the bug out. Not bad, a little bit bigger than the bug out, and that means it's not going to be quite as big as our PM2. Pretty close, though. Not bad. Not too bad. Bug out's got it by a little over 1/4 of an inch on the handle, and 1/8 of an inch or so on the blade. So it's there. Get an overall weight. It's light. This is definitely a light knife. We're getting to the one thing that I really do like about it. 2.6 ounces, which I definitely like that. 75 grams. throw it off there. Get out of here. Anyway. Pocket clip. Okay, it's got good retention. Goes in the pocket fairly well. Coming out of the pocket, you got a nice, decent pop. So, all good there. So, what do I think of the Tacray Tarcus? Well, like I said, it's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. No frills. I like the fact that, you know, it takes quite a bit to get this, shake that blade out off of that crossbar lock. That is nice. The Wharncliffe, the modified Wharncliffe blade, not necessarily my favorite blade shape, but the one thing I do like about it is it came sharp. This knife, I'm just throwing it at it and it's just sliding right through. This knife came sharp. So I will give the Tacray Tarcus a great grade on sharpness out of the package. Better than a lot I've seen. Better than some big time production knives that I've seen. It's sharp out of the package, so you don't have to really worry about it. I've used it a little bit, not a lot. Used it a little bit, just did some cutting with it. Did it on 6 thread, worked pretty darn well. 9 thread, worked pretty well. 21 thread, okay, it struggled with 21 thread. Just because that's a really, we're talking probably almost 1/2 inch diameter rope. So it struggled with that. But the 6 thread and 9 thread, it worked pretty well. Overall, comfort, ergonomics, other than the flat scales, I don't really chastise flat scales a lot. Obviously, contoured scales are more comfortable. This one, I can really feel the flatness in these scales. So, there's that. Contoured would be much better. Overall, the cutout, I'm not going to chastise the cutout on this one because it's big enough for both of my fingers to... Now, if you have larger hands, you slide back down on that. That might be an issue for you, but for me, that aspect of it is okay. Action, it's okay. Again, it's not super whammadine, but it's all right. I think, for where it's priced at, and, talk about carbon fiber. This is what I thought carbon fiber was right at first. When I first really got into the knife game and started doing these videos, I was buying budget knives and looking at budget knives. So when you look budget, you get budget, right? This is what I thought carbon fiber was, and I hated it. I'll be perfectly honest with you. Carbon fiber over G10, just go G10 or just go carbon fiber. Get rid of the carbon fiber over G10. Just get rid of it. That's my opinion. Not a fan. Not a fan anymore. That's why I didn't like carbon fiber at first. Because that's all I knew. I didn't know really good carbon fiber. So, yeah. Just get rid of the carbon fiber over G10. Just put G10 scales on it. Don't waste your time with the peel and ply. It serves no purpose to me. Honestly. It really, really doesn't. So, overall, if I had to grade it on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it a 6.5. Is there better stuff out there? Sure. At that price range? Absolutely. Is it the worst I've seen? Not even close. It does the job. It came very sharp, which I am super impressed with. Was not expecting that. Sometimes you get these, I call them Amazon knives because, that's where you find most of them. Some of these off-brand, not overly popular. And, it's one of the sharpest ones I've ever seen. So I got to give it good marks for that. Other than that, it's an option for you. It's out there. I got to thank Tacray for sending this out. The Tacray Tarcus. There you go. That's where I wanted to go with that. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. I appreciate the look at it. I'd give it a 6. That's about where it's at. No frills. Get rid of the carbon fiber. Just do G10. And I'd probably have a better opinion of it, honestly. So... Guys, appreciate you stopping by, checking it out this morning. As always, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Like, subscribe, leave me that comment. You know I love talking to you. Until next time, I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye-bye.